Few modern truck engines have a reputation as conflicted as GM's 5.3-liter V8. On one hand, it's everywhere for a reason. Strong low-end torque, comfortable towing, and for many owners, years of dependable service. But over the last decade, one issue has quietly reshaped how this engine is viewed. Lifter failure. Not an isolated defect. Not a rare fluke. A repeating pattern that shows up across Silverados, Sierras, Tahoes, Suburbans, Yukons, and more. What makes this problem frustrating isn't just the failure itself. It's how it happens. Most engines don't give you a dramatic warning. No sudden explosion. No clear moment where everything goes wrong. Instead, it starts subtly. A faint ticking noise. A slightly rough idle on cold start. Maybe a misfire code that comes and goes. And then one day it isn't subtle anymore. By the time many owners realize what's happening, the damage is already done. Over the years, GM has released updated lifters, revised oiling strategies, and incremental changes meant to improve reliability. And while those updates may delay failure, experienced engine builders keep coming back to the same conclusion. The core problem never changed. Because the issue isn't just the lifter. It's the system the lifter is designed to serve. To understand why this keeps happening, you first have to understand what GM built into this engine and why it fundamentally changed how the valve train behaves. GM's 5.3 uses cylinder deactivation technology. Earlier versions were called active fuel management. Later versions evolved into dynamic fuel management. Both systems were created for one purpose: fuel economy. Under light throttle and steady cruising, the engine temporarily shuts down selected cylinders, allowing the V8 to operate like a smaller engine. The idea is simple. Use less fuel when full power isn't needed. The way GM made this work is where the problem begins. Instead of conventional lifters that always follow the camshaft, AFM and DFM require special collapsing lifters. These lifters can lock and unlock internally based on oil pressure and computer commands. When they're locked, the valve opens normally. When they collapse, the valve stays closed. On paper, it's clever engineering. In the real world, it introduces precision components into one of the harshest environments in the engine. These lifters depend on perfect oil pressure, clean oil, and flawless internal movement. Any disruption, even briefly, can cause them to hang up, partially collapse, or fail to relock properly. And once that happens, everything downstream is affected. Engine builders consistently see the same chain reaction. A lifter doesn't fully engage. The cam lobe starts wearing unevenly. Valve timing becomes inconsistent. Noise turns into misfire. At that point, the lifter isn't just failing. It's actively damaging the engine around it. This explains something many owners struggle to understand: why replacing lifters alone often doesn't solve the problem. When a failed AFM or DFM lifter is replaced with another factory lifter, the engine is put right back into the same operating conditions that caused the failure in the first place. Same oiling system, same collapsing mechanism, same commands from the computer. In other words, the clock gets reset. That's why repeat failures are so common. 20,000 miles, 40,000 miles, sometimes less. From the perspective of professional engine builders, this isn't bad luck. It's predictable. That's also why a clear consensus has formed in the industry. If the AFM or DFM system remains mechanically intact, lifter failure is not a question of if. It's a question of when. In the next part, we'll break down the exact failure points inside these lifters, why oil changes alone can't eliminate the risk, and how early warning signs can sometimes prevent catastrophic damage, but not always. And more importantly, we'll explain why the solution that actually works requires more than updated parts or software tricks. That's coming next. By the time most owners hear the ticking, the problem is already deeper than it sounds. That noise isn't just an annoyance. It's the sound of a lifter no longer doing its job correctly. Inside every AFM and DFM lifter are small internal components that have to move freely and lock precisely, every single time. Oil pressure pushes internal pins into place. Springs return them. Tiny passages feed oil in and out. When everything is clean and pressure is perfect, the system works. But engines don't live in perfect conditions. Cold starts create pressure delays. Short trips leave moisture and contaminants behind. Extended oil change intervals allow carbon and sludge to build up. Over time, those internal lifter components start to stick. Sometimes they collapse when they shouldn't. Sometimes they don't collapse when commanded. Sometimes they half engage and ride the cam incorrectly. That's the most dangerous state of all, because a partially collapsed lifter doesn't just stop working. It damages the camshaft every time the engine turns. This is why engine builders often find worn or wiped cam lobes even when only one lifter failed. The damage spreads quietly. And this is also why replacing lifters alone almost never fixes the problem long term. When AFM or DFM lifters are swapped for new factory units, the underlying system stays active. The same commands are sent, the same oil passages are used, the same lifter design is asked to do the same job again. Nothing fundamental changes. From the engine's perspective, it's as if nothing was learned. That's why so many owners experience a second failure months or years later, sometimes on a different cylinder, sometimes worse than the first. This pattern is so consistent that professional builders don't even debate it anymore. If the system remains intact, failure remains possible. So what actually works? The answer is mechanical, not a software trick, not an updated part number, not a different oil brand. A true fix requires removing the failure-prone components entirely. That means eliminating AFM or DFM at the hardware level. When the collapsing lifters are removed and replaced with standard non-collapsing lifters, the engine returns to a simpler, always active valve train design, one that GM itself used for decades before cylinder deactivation existed. These lifters don't rely on locking pins. They don't collapse. They don't cycle on and off. They simply follow the camshaft every time without exception. But lifters alone are not enough. The factory camshaft in AFM and DFM engines is specifically shaped to work with collapsing lifters. Even if a cam lobe looks acceptable on the surface, engine builders frequently find microscopic wear patterns that will quickly destroy new lifters if reused. That's why a proper fix always includes a non-AFM camshaft, one designed for continuous V8 operation, matched to daily driving and towing needs. Not aggressive, not noisy, just stable and durable. Skipping this step is one of the most common mistakes. Another critical component is oil control. AFM engines route oil differently through the valley of the engine. Once the system is removed, those passages must be addressed correctly. That's why proper delete kits include a redesigned valley cover that eliminates AFM oil circuits. Without it, oil pressure can behave unpredictably. And then there's the engine computer. Once the hardware is gone, the software must follow. The engine control module still expects cylinders to deactivate. If that logic remains active, drivability issues and fault codes can appear. The correct approach is reprogramming the ECM so the engine operates as a full-time V8, permanently. No cylinder deactivation commands, no hidden transitions. Some owners use plug-in disabler devices, and while those can reduce lifter cycling on engines that haven't failed yet, they are not a substitute for a mechanical repair once damage exists. Engine builders are clear on this point. Mechanical fixes require mechanical solutions. In the final part, we'll talk about the realities owners care about most: cost, longevity, fuel economy trade-offs, and what life is actually like after the fix is done. We'll also address whether prevention is possible and why GM hasn't fully abandoned this system despite the long history of failures. That's coming next. This point, the biggest question most owners have is simple. Is the permanent fix worth it? There's no avoiding the truth. A full mechanical AFM or DFM delete is not cheap. Parts alone can range from roughly $1,200 to over $2,000 depending on component quality. Labor is extensive. This is deep engine work: camshaft removal, lifter replacement, gaskets, fasteners, reassembly, and proper calibration. In most cases, total cost lands somewhere between $3,500 and $6,000, sometimes more. That number stops a lot of owners in their tracks. But here's the context that matters. Many owners have already paid for lifter replacement once, some have paid twice, others have replaced camshafts, and some end up installing an entire remanufactured engine. When you compare repeated partial repairs to one comprehensive fix, the math changes. That's why owners who plan to keep their trucks long-term often reach the same conclusion: fix it once, fix it properly. After a complete delete, most drivers report immediate changes. Idle becomes smoother. The ticking disappears. Throttle response feels consistent. The engine behaves like a traditional V8 again. Reliability is the biggest difference. Without collapsing lifters cycling on and off, the single most failure-prone component is gone. The valve train returns to a simpler, more predictable design. Fuel economy usually drops slightly. For most owners, it's about 1 to 2 miles per gallon. Some see less. Some see no measurable change, depending on driving style. Almost everyone agrees the trade-off is worth it. The next question owners ask is whether lifter failure can be prevented without going this far. The short answer is partially. AFM disabler devices can reduce lifter cycling by preventing cylinder deactivation during normal driving. Many owners install them early and see extended lifter life as a result. But it's important to be honest. These devices don't change the lifter design. They don't eliminate the collapsing mechanism. And they can't repair a lifter that's already sticking or worn. They're preventive tools, not cures. Oil maintenance also matters. Shorter oil change intervals, correct viscosity, and high-quality filters reduce contamination and pressure fluctuations. But even perfect maintenance can't remove the fundamental design complexity. This leads to another common question. Why hasn't GM fully solved this problem? The answer isn't simple, but it isn't mysterious either. Emissions regulations, fuel economy targets, manufacturing cost, and the challenge of redesigning a mass-produced engine platform. GM has revised lifters and made incremental improvements, but the core concept remains the same. As long as cylinder deactivation relies on collapsing lifters, the risk remains. For owners who complete a proper delete, the engine often becomes what many expected from the beginning. Dependable, long-lasting V8. Not perfect, not cheap, but predictable. After years of data, teardowns, and real-world ownership, the conclusion is clear. Replacing lifters alone is temporary. Updated AFM parts are still AFM parts. Software solutions without mechanical changes are incomplete. Right now, a full mechanical AFM or DFM delete is the only reliable permanent fix for GM's 5.3-liter lifter failure. It's invasive. It's expensive. But it works. For owners who want to keep their trucks for the long haul, it often turns a constant worry into a truck they can trust again, the way these engines used to be known for.